Peace and light. Peace, love, and light, fam. As you come in, put a number 9 in the chat if you can hear me and see me well. All right. So if you can hear me and see me well, please put a number 9 in the chat. All right. I hope you guys are well wherever you are on this planet of ours. I am just now coming into my grand rising. It's early here in CR. Every time that I wake up in CR, I am just in awe of its beauty. It's just absolutely gorgeous in CR. So just happy to call this home, one of my homes. So yeah, but we're gonna get into it. This is not going to be very long. I hope. Um, but I did want to share some things. So, again, if you can hear me and see me, put a number 9 in the chat. All right. Trying to get the lighting right. Okay, if you can hear me and see me well, put a number 9 in the chat. If you can hear me and see me well, put a number 9 in the chat. Peace and light, Tony Africa. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you. So, you guys, I'll go ahead and just get started. This will be uploaded for those who would like to watch it later, who couldn't join the live. But if you've been, really keeping up with my content, first of all, this channel is like an open diary for me, where I share my experiences as I travel throughout this planet. And also, I talk about just an array of things, that I feel that are important to me and to my community, and for my community, rather. And so, yeah. So, if you've been keeping up, I was speaking about lately, recently, I'd had just episodes where, I would just start to, cry because I just felt just this kind of melancholy feeling, sadness as it relates to the condition, of my people. And then I shared about my experience on Iberia Airlines and how, my son and I were treated, and how when I got back home to CR, I just had this moment of just, a weeping, that was just uninitiated, just came about. And I said I would do some work and do some meditation to see, what was really going on with me at this juncture, and why, I was having these uninitiated episodes of just, weeping and crying. Why did I feel like this intense feeling, of melancholy? And I went into deep meditation, um, and it was revealed to me that it was just dormant trauma, ancestral trauma. We do hold the trauma of our ancestors within ourselves, within our DNA. Um, and so that was what was revealed to me, is that that's why it came like so strong, because I just had not had that happen before, as it relates to, my people and the trauma that we have endured, and so, just seeing all of that, it was just, dormant within me. And the weeping was just me letting it out, letting it go. And yeah, that was what was revealed to me. And it's just so amazing just to see how, what we see on a daily basis, what our, parents and grandparents and great great grandparents, and what they experienced, and our uncles and great uncles and aunties, and just the generational trauma that we carry within ourselves, and how it negatively impacts us, and we really don't realize like to what magnitude, until something actually triggers us, and it just flows like a river. And I don't, I'm sure other people may have, experienced this. And if you have, please comment in the chat. But I had never had this happen to me. Again, I guess, like I said, it was dormant. It was just dormant trauma. And but then I thought, okay, now it's resurfacing, or it's surfacing rather. And I say resurfacing because I know that since it's ancestral, it was felt by my ancestors, so it's resurfacing in me. And so, what am I to do? Um, Other than letting this trauma out, is there something else, you know, um, that I need to do? Um, and it was revealed to me that whatever the source of that trauma is, that I need to find a way to correct it, the issue, and then release it. Correct the issue and release it. The trauma is so layered. We've had so much done to us and taken away from us, our identity. So I'm correcting that now by putting the leaves on, the branches of my family tree. You guys know that I talk about that all the time, about making sure that no one else tells you who you are. You have to find that out for yourself. So I've been doing that for the longest. I'm proud of the work that I've gotten done thus far. I have another meeting with my great aunt. And she said that she's going to take me to other family members that hold even more information about, um, you know, the branches, the leaves, on the branches of the tree, of my family, and just completing that is extremely important to me. So just doing the work and doing the time travel, and making sure that I I know who I am, so that I can then pass that on to my son, so that he knows exactly who he is, because we did the work, and not that anybody else told us who we were, or who we should be identifying as. So it's very important. So I'm correcting that trauma, you know, um, just the trauma of bondage. I've always had this innate seed planted, this innate feeling, of just being free, to do what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, when I wanted to do it, regardless of, what anybody had to say. I live my life on my own terms. And it's very important. I walk to the beat of my own drum. And I've had people get really upset about it because they want me to do it in their way, or in the way that they feel like I should do it. And I'm just not. I'm not that wound man. I walk to the beat of my own drum. This is my life. This is my life to live. It's not anyone else's. And I also encourage my subscribers, you guys know I always tell you, the experiences that I'm having are mine. Whatever I share, it's because I want you to be aware. But it does not mean that you will have the same experiences that I have or I have had in various lands. And I always remind you of that. Okay. So just me having this innate sense of being free. Whenever I feel like someone is trying to entrap me or um, oppress me, I have a strong response to that. I rebuke it severely. I'm just not that woman. I cannot. The oppression, I don't do well with that. Someone trying to put me in their little box, I don't do well with that. I've just never done well with that. And so just having that sense of divine and innate freedom is also breaking generational curses, things that led to us being in such, a low vibrational state, things that caused severe wounds, within the men and women in our nation and to our nation, of course, as a whole, because it starts with the family unit. And when that family unit is weakened, then our whole nation is weakened. It's going to fall because the foundation is broken. It's not stable. So just going through that, um, coming out of the systematic state of mind. I'm breaking generational curses as it relates to that. I took my son out of this school system years ago. The best decision that I ever made. He is homeschooled. He is on a private curriculum, but I also pour into him the things that are given to me to pour into him, things that he needs to know about who he truly is in his essence, that he's not just a physical manifestation, explaining to him how his physical manifestation, how he came to be in this physical manifestation, the various parts of him as a man, his essence, knowing that he's light, knowing that he's energy, teaching him how to work with energy, how to master energy, how to control his mind, letting him know that everything is mental and it starts with the mind, it starts with the thought, how he can create the life that he wants just by knowing himself and controlling his mind and his thoughts. Those are the things that I get to pour into my son that he didn't that I wasn't able to do before because I was so bogged down by the systematic blueprint, which was go to work, get up in the morning, in the wee hours of the morning, just to, get yourself together to go onto the new age plantation, which is, in the workplace, traveling for over an hour in, bumper to bumper traffic. That's draining in itself. And just going to work, at a job where people don't respect you, they don't value you, they mistreat you, they disrespect you, and then have my son going into a system that is based off of miseducation. Okay, they don't tell him who he is. At least, they if they do, they start at slavery, which is not who he is. So he can't see himself, when they're teaching about history, and not teaching him correctly about the sciences and how our ancestors taught the sciences. It's a different method because it's a different mentality. There's a different culture, ancient culture that we come from. And so in the way that even our children are being taught in the school system, it makes it difficult for them to really grasp these concepts. Also just having them in this classroom all day long where they're just it's just this center of attention, like they're just looking straight ahead all day long at this teacher at the blackboard. That's not good. So just getting myself out of that um systematic like frame of mind, and just with my son, he wakes up at a time that's comfortable for him. He's not having to get up anymore at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. so that I can get him off, to school. Um, he's not being distracted by inappropriate behavior, within the classroom. Like some of the things that my son was exposed to and other children may have been exposed to, it was really shocking. Like some of the things that the children would be talking about, in the classroom as children. Their innocence was being like robbed, and I just could only think, like, if they're telling my son this, my son's coming home asking me certain questions, or I see that he searched something, on the internet, and I'm like, why are you searching for this? Who even told you about this? And so, just him not having, those distracting interactions, in the classroom. Um, and so that's been great. He works at his own pace, so it's not stressful. For him, it's not like, okay, I have all these 15, 20 assignments, and I've got to make sure that I got to get them all done. And then, once he's done with school, when I was in that systematic frame of mind, then he would come home and then he would have a ton of homework to do, which would take away from our family time. It never gave his mind a time to rest. It never gave his mind time to absorb. It never gave his mind time to reflect. So now he's able to do all of those things. Just us going on our, travels, and him learning about various cultures, him living in and experiencing different and various ecosystems and studying them. Those things, very, very, very important. How to cultivate in these different environments. So I'm breaking, you know, the systematic frame of mind. I've eradicated that. I've taken my son out. I am out, of that rat race, in particular, just being able to work remotely and having my own businesses, and learning how to provide for myself. And so all of those things are being broken. So I really am, doing my work, positive affirmations, and reminding myself oftentimes, like they say, if you say something 45 times, 4 and 5 is 9, then it becomes true within your mind. And so I do that, with water, the energy of water, and speaking those positive affirmations. And I oftentimes, say to myself, remember who you are, remember who you are, remember who you are. Very, very, very important, so that, I'm not sucked back into that systematic me. Okay. That straw man that was created by this system. So those are the things, that's the work that I'm doing to heal generational trauma, and to eradicate, the hurt, the profound hurt. And that was the reason why I was having these, outbursts. And I think it was a way for, the ancestors just communicating, with me and through me, and to me. And I just don't take it lightly. And so it was a call. It was a call for me to continue to do the work that I'm doing. It was a call for release, and it was a call for restoration. That was what was revealed to me when I went inside of myself, to get those answers. And so I felt a great sense of relief. It was mm, like a weight was placed on me, and and then it was like it was lifted, and I felt lighter. I felt so much lighter. And this is why it's so important for us to do the work. Don't ignore, you know, don't ignore when your spirit is trying to speak to you and trying to communicate with you and the ancestors, because they do communicate with us. The universe communicates with us. And it could be right in front of our face, but if we don't know the signs, then it could just, it could pass us by. Or if we ignore it and we're like, oh, okay, well, I'm just having a sad day today. Oh, I'm just having a bad day today. Like, we really do need to take time to reflect, and to acknowledge, our feelings, and our emotions, and why they are coming to manifest the way that they are in a particular moment. Like, we should not just brush it off. So that was what was revealed to me. I'm really, like I said, I feel so much lighter. And now that I know, the source of it, and then I can do the work, and then joy comes in the morning, you know. So yeah. Now, as it relates to Portugal, as you all know, I shared our experience about Portugal, and I talked about as I always do. I always talk about the negative. I always talk about the positive. I try to be very balanced. And so I said we did have some instances of um, racism, and then when I got home, which gave us pause. Okay, and I said I didn't know if we were going to continue with the visa process for residency, and that I would do some meditation and reflect on this and to see what spirit revealed, what my spirit revealed. And I did that. And so my decision is that we will continue, with our residency for Portugal. And the reason is, in all of our travels, and not just our travels, but our existence, on this planet, racism has always been a constant. And so I'm not going to allow someone else's mental illness, because that's what racism is. It's a mental illness. I'm not going to allow that to prohibit me from going forward in doing something that I want to do. There is a work for me to do in Portugal for myself and my family. There was a plan that I had, for life in Portugal. There were things that I wanted to do, especially in the country region, the more rural region. And so I'm going to go forward with that plan. Essentially, the pros outweighed the cons for me. And I also had some lovely experiences and met some lovely people, you know, um, in Portugal, and the energy there. I'm talking about the energy in the atmosphere, the energy of the land, that was emanating from the land. It was something that was attractive to me, more so than unattractive. And I felt like I could get a lot of not only spiritual work done, but community work done. Like I said, more so in the country region, um, of Portugal. So I'm going to go ahead and move full speed ahead. Um, and so that, that's what it is. That's what it is. And I appreciate everyone in the comment section, who commented on my experience, as it related to the racism. And, I had some people were like, oh, just forget about it and go back to Africa. And, and I appreciate you all so much. I know it's coming from a really good place, but I experienced so many adverse things, in Africa, but so many wonderful things in Africa that I keep with me till this day, and it will never ever leave me. Never ever leave me. And I still have more work to do in various parts of Africa, and I will be back to visit Africa. And I actually started to go over to Africa from Portugal, but there was some business that I had to take care of, and it brought me back home. But I literally was about to book a ticket to Africa, from Portugal, because I still have business there as well. But there's still a work for me to do, and there's still so much that I want to explore. I mean, like I said, Alkebulan is massive, and there's just so much more to for me to explore, for Josiah to explore, and I will do that. So don't think that I've just like thrown Africa to the wayside. I was there for nearly 2 years. You all live there and have had, like I said, a great deal of experiences, and lived, a beautiful life as it relates to my compound. Like when I was in my home, I just love both of my homes in Alkebulan, in Tanzania. I love them both so much. The mountain home and my garden, and me learning how to garden because I'd never done so prior to moving to Alkebulan. So it's taught me like so much that I still carry with me to this day. So yeah, I definitely will be back to Alkebulan, and I will share it with you guys at per usual, and take you guys along with me. And you can leave a comment and let me know, like, which African land do you think I should go to next? I know one of the subscribers was, they mentioned Cameroon. Um, and so, yeah, I never even like considered Cameroon until really after I my ex fiance is Cameroonian. So he's from Cameroon. So prior to him, I never thought about, you know, going to Cameroon. It wasn't on my list. So it was just funny that someone mentioned that. I think it was Carmen mentioned that in the comment section. So whichever, land in Alkebulan that you think that we should travel to next, please go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and I'll, see what we can do, put it on the list. And, but yeah, we'll be back. So yeah, so I just decided not to allow someone else's mental illness to prohibit me from going forward and accomplishing what I set out to, accomplish. Like it had to be me that made that decision, and not, them. And so, yeah, so we will continue our process. And Portugal is not the only land that we're getting residency in. We're in the process of getting residency in another land. And so I'm really excited about that. And so not until I receive the results, then I will share. Like once we get the approval, then I will share that with you guys, and let you know what that land is. So we're in the process of doing that. I want to tell you guys, like, not to and just to close the gap in the Portugal decision, and about, the initial pause with the racism. Like I said, I experienced it in pretty much every land that I've gone to. And even within Africa, we experienced, just issues amongst ourselves, and with these preconceived notions, with the propaganda that was put out there about, us to the world, us who they call African American, but also the propaganda that was put out in America about, uh, our African brothers and sisters, and so we were, there's a lot of that, that still needs to be dealt with, that still needs to be corrected and eradicated. And so I understood, where it was coming from. But there were other issues that I had as it relates to our journey in Africa. And so, we've experienced racism even when we were in America, to a profound, magnitude. And so it's nothing new, is my point. It's nothing new. Um, but it still wasn't as profound even as we experienced in America, is my point. Like those instances of racism that we experienced in Portugal, it wasn't as profound as, what we experienced as a whole in America. And that was just for the amount of time that I was there. Okay, just speaking for that amount of time. So yes, that's why, I just decided to go forth with my plan, to get the residency there and to continue to do the work that I want to do there. Okay. I want to encourage you all not to limit yourselves. You don't have to limit yourselves. Even me, like all the lands that I've been researching, I realized that I was kind of limiting myself as well. There were certain lands that I had not yet even considered. And that was even like just the island life. And not to say that I had never considered that island life, I just had never considered certain islands like the St. Kitts and Nevis, like those islands. There were islands like called Dominica. These islands like were not even on my mind, and so it just lets me know that again our world, our planet is massive. There's just so many lands that we have available to us to live the life that we want to live, to find the peace that we need. We can do that. There are so many places and that offer so many different types of energy and different types of lifestyles, and that we have at our disposal to choose from. And so so I was looking at those lands, and more so on the Caribbean side, and I was doing research and I was reading about what people had to say about the Caribbean islands. And it was funny because you had this one side that was like so discouraging, and they were like, don't move to the Caribbean islands because it's not safe and it's crime ridden and all of these things. It's so important that you learn how how to how to utilize discernment. Okay, because some people may take that information and it may deter them and it may prohibit them, and they may say, forget it, I don't want to go to the Caribbean islands because it's not safe. But then you have to really analyze that information, and you have to take what is necessary for you to take, and then you have to discard the rest. Us living, and I'm speaking of us that have lived in North America, the US, is that so much more safe? Really? Especially for us, is it? In many instances it would appear that it's not, you know. And so my point is there is crime. We have lived in places where there's high crime coming from, the Americas. And yes, there's crime, and it may be even more profound, maybe in various areas of the Caribbean. But that does not mean that there aren't places within those lands where you can live safely, and abundantly. That's the whole point. There's always a polarity. There's always a polarity. So you have to choose for yourself and make sure that it is your decision and it's not someone else making the decision for you based off of, their experience. Okay. It's always important to go to those lands and have the experience for yourself so that you're not going off of other people's experience. Like I said, I always share for awareness and educational purposes, but it's never, to deter you from going forth and having your own experience. And I say that all the time. Okay. And so my computer is dying. Um, so yeah, I just wanted you guys, to know that, and just make sure that you're not prohibiting yourselves, and that you are aware that this planet is massive, and that there is a place for you to live your happily ever after. There is a place for you to build community. There is a place for you to heal. There is a place for you to cultivate. There is a place, for you to grow. There's a place for you to do all the things that you want to do. You just have to do the work to find that place. And there may be many places, not just one, that can offer you the various things that you need and that you want, and take advantage of that. So I've always been one to not put my eggs in one basket. Never ever. And that is why I am seeking residency in various lands, because the lands in which I am choosing to get residency in, they offer me something that is important to me. So sometimes you may not get it all in one land, And one other thing that I realized about the Caribbean islands is that, for those who do have an American passport, US passport, um, you can dwell in those lands for 3 to 6 months without a visa. So it's only one that you can't, and that's Cuba. Okay, so other than Cuba, you can go to the Caribbean islands. I mean, there's so many. I mean, Saint Lucia, Barbados. I mean, there's just so many. Of course, they really, when I was researching about the Caribbean islands, I mean, they just did Jamaica like dirty. Um, they were just like, just forget about Jamaica. Like, it's just too crime ridden. And I don't know, maybe, there is a high level of crime. Should it prohibit you from going and having your own experience? No, it shouldn't. You never know what you may find. You never know what you may find. And then the other side, of course, from the side that was like the Caribbean islands are dangerous and you shouldn't, live there. Then there was, the other side, and those, that had a more balanced perspective, where they were like, yeah, there are areas where I would not encourage you to go. And these are people that were, some of them that were commenting, they were from the Caribbean islands, and you shouldn't go, and these are the parts that you may not want to go, to, but there are other parts that you can go to, and you can live well. The cost of living was significantly lower, and I'd never really done full research on the Caribbean islands. So my whole point is, do not prohibit yourself, do not limit yourself. um, know that this planet is massive. Okay. And I would encourage you to open up your mind and not even consider, because that's what I've been thinking on too, just not stop considering all of these, like, I say sensationalized, because once there's just mass movement and people are moving like to these same places, it becomes sort of sensationalized. But not going to the more popular places and opening up your mind to other lands that may not be traveled to so frequently. So just have an open mind about your journey, your travel journeys, or about your journeys in leaving, the U.S. and starting a new life in other lands. Just know that, again, the planet is massive, and that there are so many lands for you, to choose from. You just have to decide and decipher what kind of life you want to have for yourself, and based off of that, then you start your research. You start your research. So that's what I have for you guys. The only person that prohibits you is you. Don't put yourself in a box, and don't allow anyone else to put you in a box. Okay, you are a cosmic citizen. Okay. And so you can go wherever it is that you want to go and have the life that you want to have. And that is why, like I said in my travel video about how, to start traveling, is that it may behoove you not to tell, everyone, or maybe anyone, depending upon, the circle of people that are around you, about your journey. Because people can be like very, very negative, very, very negative. And again, when they feel like that you're doing something that they can't do, or you're doing something that they would like to do, but they don't have the courage to do. So it may be important to stay in the golden place, while you're planning your exit, or you're planning your travel adventures. Okay, so very, very, very important that, again, you keep an open mind, and that you keep in your mind's eye the things that are important to you, and it also is wise to watch other content creators who have gone to the lands that you are interested in, or may have gone to a land that fits the kind of lifestyle that you want, because sometimes they can open your mind to other things that you may not have considered. And so that's also very, very, very important, as well. But just learning how to utilize discernment, know what to take in and know what to not take in. Okay. So that is what I have. Does anybody have any questions? I see we have quite a few people in the chat. If you have any questions about any place that I've gone to, about travel, that I can answer, or anything outside of that, where you may need some advice, if I can impart some wisdom, I'd be more than happy to do so. So if you have any questions, please do um, let me know. Please do let me know in the chat, and I'd be more than happy to answer it. And if I can't answer it, I'd be more than happy to get the answer to your question if I am able. So, does anybody have any questions? Is anybody starting their traveling journey? Is anybody still in the States trying to find their way out? If you are, comment in the chat. Know that you can. Know that you can. Oh, you're welcome, Tony Africa. Thank you for the support. Like, you've always supported this channel, and I really appreciate you so very much. Are you still in our Cabulon, by the way, Tony? So yeah, I just want you guys to be free. I want you guys to do your work. It's so important. Sherry, trying to find my way out. First of all, welcome, Sherry. Welcome to the channel. What you say you're trying, right, Sherry? What are the prohibiting factors that you feel are in your way at this juncture of you actually making your way out? What are the hurdles that you're facing right now? So yeah, let's have a conversation. I'll be right back, you guys. I'm gonna get my charger. Let's have that conversation. Let's figure it out. Okay, I had to shift, you guys. I'm here. Okay. Yes. Now in Kenya. Okay. And I will be back in Rwanda in 2 weeks. All right. All right. And how long have you been on the continent, Tony, Africa? Because I know you were on the continent at the same time that I was on the continent. So it had to have been quite some time now that you've been in Africa. Trying to find an income online so that I can move is the only okay prohibiting factor. There are several others with same issue. Okay, and so when you say online, because that actually is a solution. I mean, it's a good solution. Trying to find something online. Are you trying to find, like, are you an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to find an online gig, or you're trying to find work online, like a remote type of situation, work situation? So let me tell you guys that there are so many remote opportunities, so many remote opportunities. So let me give you guys some pointers. If you're looking for remote opportunities, a remote gig, and you're not an entrepreneur, it's not you're not trying to run your own business, going on 3 years now. Wow, look at that, look at that. Share, Tony Africa, with the chat how you have been so successful on the continent, on in Alkebulan. What has helped you to be successful and allowed you to be able to stay for almost 3 years now? Share with the people in the chat. I would really appreciate that if you don't mind. Um, so yeah, back to the online gigs. If you're looking for just an online job or gig, or a remote job, they are there. I come from an HR background. I've been in HR for the past almost 6 years. Okay. They are out there. You just have to search for them, meaning just put in the search details. So if you're looking for remote work, put in fully remote. Put that into the search, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Indeed. Also, um, you may want to go the staffing agency route, headhunter route. There are several staffing agencies that now have a section dedicated to fully remote work. I know Robert Half is one of those agencies. Okay. One of the great things about working with an agency is that, they can find you work quickly. They have relationships with several types of organizations. And, they have a diverse portfolio of work. And so having those connections and having that diverse portfolio, it's beneficial to you, okay, because it increases your chances of finding a job. Another thing is that they pay weekly. You are paid weekly when you go through a staffing agency. So you can do, just a temporary gig. You can do a temp to perm, or you can do they can just do a direct hire. So it's just whatever it is, that you're looking for at the time. So you might want to go ahead and contact some of the staffing agencies, go onto their website, upload your resume. Oftentimes, it's good. Well, not often, every time it's good. Like if you're not actually speaking with someone at the staffing agency, you need to, once you upload your resume, you need to give them a call and let them know that you've just uploaded your resume. And then, they'll start to ask you questions like, more in-depth questions about, what you're looking for, what your availability is. And so it just kind of, puts a voice, to the resume. So that's another way in which you can go about finding remote work very, very quickly. So yeah. Um, I don't see, I don't know if the chat is working, but I don't see any other questions. Did anybody else have any other questions? So yeah, go that route. Like I said, use Indeed, use LinkedIn. Monster is still out there too, but and then also utilize, staffing agencies. I think that if you're looking for something remote, that is like the best route, to go. And they'll help you in your search. You know, they'll help you in your search. Um, well, I have set up a business in Rwanda, Kenya, and previously retail stores in Atlanta. So because he has a store. He had his own business prior to coming to the continent. I'm sure that gave him seed money, so that he could continue to expand, his business portfolio, and continue to have income, multiple streams of income. Because that's what that is. He says he has a business in Rwanda, he has a business in Kenya, and he has a business in the States. So the brother, did very well. Okay. So with Tony, he went the route of, entrepreneurship in the States, using that seed money to then open other businesses that bring in other streams of income, on the continent. So there is no financial struggle um, for him, because he made sure of it by making sure that he had the seed money to do what it is he wanted to accomplish in the lands within Al Kabulon. And that is so commendable. Doesn't mean that everybody has to do it the way that Brother Tony did it. No, no. It is a very responsible way. Um, but there are other ways. There are other ways. I know that some people just can't wait. We're experiencing things differently. So, our experience in the States, again, could be very different, although we are experiencing the same, oppression and trauma, but it may affect us in different waves and different ways. And so some of us are maybe at a state, those that are in still in the States of, I have to get out of here, and I have to get out of here now. Like, I have to leave here now, And so if you're in that frame of mind where it's just such it's urgent, there's such an urgency, there is a way for you to get out too. Even if you don't have, 40, 50K or more, in your account, don't think that you can't. There's more than one way. Okay. And the brother say he's also a veteran from the Army. So of course, you know, you have that income coming in too. And even with me, you guys don't know, but I was prior military. I did a short stint in the military. And so I'm going for my benefits. I had surgery while I was in training. They had to rush me into surgery. And then I was discharged. And all this time, like, I never thought about getting my benefits. Like, so until now, until now. And someone actually, an officer told me, like, you should have been got your benefits. Like, you should have went and gotten that a while ago. So you need to do that. And so I'm doing that. So yeah, I mean, there are multiple ways that you can go about exiting the states if that is your desire. There are multiple ways that you can go about your travel adventures. You could even do a GoFundMe. Really, I've seen people do that. I've seen people do crowdfunding. Don't leave any stone unturned. This is your dream. This is something that you want to do. So don't be shy, about involving your community, involving your family, or those that you feel you can trust, or that will support you. And asking them, that could be a route. Or maybe you might be in a situation where, you don't have that support system. So, telling those in your circle, could be adverse. So everybody's situation is different. No, you don't have to have all of this money, but you do need to be able to sustain yourself. There are people living who have exited, and they're living off of their social security. They're living off of their disability, and it's only like maybe like 1,200, 1,500 a month, and they're doing it. One of the things that I realized on my journey is I don't need as much as I thought that I needed. Like I don't. I just like my experience in Al Kebulon, I was, it just put me in a different state of mind where I didn't care, like I didn't have to be flawless like every time I walked outside of my compound. I very easily put on a pair of flip-flops, throw on a little, cute dress, and just be on my way, and I've never been someone who has to have, these designer labels. I was never that girl, but I mean, I love fashion. And so, but I had a more simpler life when I was in Al Kebulon. Like I wasn't so concerned about making sure I was prim. And of course, I have a certain way of presenting myself now. I just didn't go out looking any kind of way because I'm still me. But I'm saying like in the US, it's this thing of being on. You have to be on all the time, and I just didn't feel that way, when I was in Al Kebulon. No one cared, and I didn't care. I didn't care, and so just having that feeling of just having a simpler type of life, I was able to experience that, in Al Kebulon, again, putting on my little flip flops, maybe throwing on a little pair of shorts and a t-shirt. I didn't wear heels the entire time. I was in Al Kebulon, which was nearly 2 years in all the lands. Like I did not wear heels at all. I was always in a pair of flip flops, okay, or sandals, locally made sandals, and I was on my way. I was on my way, and I'm so used to now not wearing heels that I still don't wear them. Now, and that started for me in Al Kebulon. First of all, the roads were most of them, especially where I lived in a village, they were dirt. So I'm like, I'm gonna wear these heels, and then no. In all these rocks and this dirt, yeah, no, it was hard enough for me to do it in the flip flop, so I was not even going to do it with my heels on. But I just didn't feel the need to want to like dress up to that magnitude, to put on, a pair of heels. And it's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying like that was a shift for me. I was able to live a more simpler life, and there were times, where I had to run outside of my compound to do something, I needed something because, there are a lot of inconveniences that we deal with, especially when we're living that village life, and there were times where I had to run out and I didn't get to iron and nobody cared. Like, and I didn't feel pressure, at all. So yeah, there are many different ways. Like the brother Tony, he said that he owns several businesses. For others, there are other ways. So if you were in the military, try to go that route. That's a route. Like I said, I'm just now filing to get my benefits. Try to get the support of your family and community if you can, if it will be beneficial to you, if you know that you have a positive circle of people that will support you. You could do crowdfunding that way, and get some seed money that way. Again, going the staffing agency route, and so that way you have income coming in, every week. There are remote jobs out there. If you are an entrepreneur, stop procrastinating and get that business started. Go and get your business registered. It does not have to be an LLC. Start off with a sole proprietorship. Yes, they tell you with a sole proprietorship, you don't have all of the protections that you would have under an LLC or under a corporation, but you really get an LLC. It protects your assets. And so if your business is not really making money, then do you really have assets to protect? So do you really have to start off with an LLC? No. Get your Do your sole proprietorship, which is cheap, to start off with. And once you start making income and you actually have assets, then you can decipher if you want to move over and with an LLC. Okay. So do that. Stop procrastinating. Go and get your go and get your sole proprietorship registered and start your business. I was able to start my business. That was my first business, was my boutique, Ivrit Royalty. It was my first business. I opened the business. Um, After, I just got tired of being disrespected, in these jobs, on these job sites. And I just got really tired of like giving my all and working my tail off, and just, to not be treated well. And so after leaving one of my last contracts, I just was like, forget it. I'm going to take all that I have, which was not much, and I'm going to start this business. But the thing is, I was in such a positive state of mind. Like, I was like, I'm doing it. And that's it. There was no, there were no even opposite thoughts. There were no negative thoughts. I was just like, I'm doing it. And that's what it was. And I just started to do it. So I went and I registered the business. I didn't know much about anything. I just knew that I loved fashion. And that was it. That's what I knew. I knew that I loved fashion. I knew I was great at customer service and marketing. And so I registered my business. I did all of it. I opened up my business literally within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I went physically into the office, the clerk's office. I registered my sole proprietorship. I then got my reseller's certificate, went and got that. I started looking at my vendors, started building vendor relationships, went and did that. I got someone, okay, who you all may know, to do my logo for me for Ivrit Royalty. So I changed my logo because at first, it was a different type of logo. Like, it had like a lion and a lioness like merged together as one. It was called Ivrit Royalty or whatever. And then I got that same person to change my logo into something just more elegant and classy. And so I got them to do my logo, okay, within our community. Again, so that's another point, is utilize the talent within your community, within your circle. Okay. And so I got her to do my logo. She did the logo. And then that was it. Like, I started to I put the, logo on my website. I did my website myself, and my son and I did the website. Was it the best website? Hell no. But it was up. And it had, it had the merchandise, there. You live and you learn, and I was willing to make the mistakes to learn, and so that's what I did. So we did the website ourselves, my son and myself, got the inventory uploaded onto the website, got the payment system up there, did all of the return, the policies and procedures for return. We did all of that, making sure it was accessible to the blind and others who had disability, because you have to make sure of that as well. Like, these were things that I learned. I literally did this in 2 weeks, and I had it up. Then I started to market. Marketing is very, 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 very important. Okay. And so I started to market and sell. Like, people started to come in. People started to come in, and that's how I opened my first business. It was Ivrit Royalty Boutique. And then once the pandemic happened, it closed for a while, and now I'm reopening my boutique along with my other businesses. So if I did it, you can do it. And I did not have much of anything. And when I started off, I had very little inventory. I did what I could afford. Okay. But I made sure that I had quality. It was about the quality. So I had quality inventory. I always made sure I checked my merchandise for any type of flaws, and things of that nature. So yeah, you can do it, but the biggest thing is procrastination, and that's something that I did not exercise when I opened my first business. There was no procrastination. I was just like, there is no, I just need to do this and I need to get it done. And I did, like I did. So stop procrastinating if you are an entrepreneur. That is your biggest enemy, procrastination. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do this. I'll do that. No, do it now. Do it today. Do it now and do it today. Like I said, I literally decided in my mind, it started off as a thought after I left my last contract during that time. And I said, boom, that's what I want to do. I knew I wanted a boutique. So I said, okay, that's it. The next day, because it was already the end of the closing day, I drove straight to the clerk's office. I went and I got my sole proprietorship. Right that same day, I went and applied for my reseller's license. Boom, got that within 24 hours. I got it, just got it, one thing after another. Stayed up all night looking at vendors, all night looking at inventory, all night doing my website myself. Again, because I didn't have, a lot of capital at the time. So I used what I had. But yeah, just do it. Like the saying, just do it, do it. So if you want to leave the States, do it. Just do it. That means do the actions that are necessary for you to get to where you're getting to. So the sister Sherry was saying that she's looking for an online gig. I hope, Sherry, that you are like, that is what you're putting your energy towards, because you know that that's your only hurdle right now. That means you're close. You're almost there. So that means that you need to be, because everything is energy. This is a spiritual journey more so than anything else. I hope you guys recognize that. Okay. So everything is energy. So put your energy towards what it is you need. So if you're needing that online gig, that job, put your energy towards it. Spend hours looking for the right opportunity that will get you what you need. You have to put your energy towards it and you will start to see results. Trust me, it's worked in my life. It's worked for me. Don't be discouraged. Sometimes it starts off slow. Sometimes you start that searching. You're like, oh, I can't find anything. Oh, okay, but I find these jobs, but it's not applicable to me. It's not something that I want to do. Don't let that discourage you. Keep going. Keep putting your energy towards and watch it be returned back to you. Watch it. I'm telling you. So don't do it one day and then the next day you're not doing anything. You're not looking. Don't do that. Do it every day or most of the days of the week. Of course, give yourself a break, but make sure that you're putting a consistent amount of energy towards what you want and watch it work for you. So that's really important what I'm telling you. Really important what I'm telling you. I've done it. So, Sis Sherry, yes, you are almost there. That's your only hurdle? Then that could be easily solved. Like easily. So you're almost out of there. You're almost out of there. Not only that, remember, it starts here because the universe is mental. You guys, listen to what I'm telling you. These are not just words. This is energy. Everything is energy. I'm putting you up on some game here. People are wondering, how am I able to live this life? You think I have a whole bunch of money? I don't. It's called manifestation. So everything starts off as a thought. Everything. You've got to control this. You want to get out? You want a better life and you want peace, you have to control this. You've got to. There's always a plur for every positive thought, there's going to be a negative thought. But you have to give your energy towards the positive thought that will get you to where you want to go. And if you do that consistently, you're going to see beneficial results. Instead of saying, I want to go to Africa, you tell people, oh, I'm moving to Africa. Oh, we're moving to Africa. Yeah, we're packing up. We're moving to Africa right now. So we're packing up for our move to Africa or wherever it is. We're packing up for our move to Mexico. We're packing up for our move to St. Lucia. We're packing up for our move to Portugal. We're packing up. That's where we're going. That's what we're doing. You said it. You said it. So then it has to be. I have said that ye are gods. Your word shall not return unto you void. So you said it. So you are saying that you are going to move to a particular place. It's gone out into the universe. Now you've got the thought. Now you have to add action and feeling. That's how you manifest. You have to do those three: the thought, the action, and the feeling. So there's no other thought. You're moving. You're moving to Al Capitan. That's where you're going. Sis, that's where you're going, brother. Wherever it is. You want to move to Portugal? That's what it is. That's it. That's what you're telling everybody. That's what you're telling yourself. That's it. Oh, you're looking up storage units. Oh, you're looking up this and that because you're going to this place where you said you're wanting to go. Every day in your mind, in your heart, you're there. You're already in that place. You feel it. You're already there. That's how you manifest. If it's the job you're wanting, again, not just going online and looking for it, that's a part of it. It's a portion of it. But now you've got to feel it, and it has to be in your mind's eye consistently. Oh, okay. So I want this gig. Okay. So I'm getting this gig. This gig is mine. This gig is mine. This job is mine. Whatever it is, this is mine. Okay, it's here. So I've gotten it already. So I got it. I got it already. I already got it. It's already done. It's already done. Feeling is extremely important, and you're going to have to practice to where it's not inauthentic, and you're not just saying, "Oh, I feel I'm there. I feel I'm there." No, you have to know that you're there, and those feelings are going to start to come in. You're going to feel that energy creeping in, and you're going to now know that that you're there. That's the solidification of the physical manifestation. When you've mastered the art of feeling. This is all important. All important. This is how you get the life that you want. If it's seed money that you need, know that it's already there. First in your mind's eye, and you're feeling it. Whatever it is you need already exists in the unseen world. Your job is to bring it from the unseen world into the seen, the physical world. Everything that you need is already in the unseen world. You have to bring it from there to here. I just told you. I hope you got the jewels that I just dropped. People want to know, how am I able to do this and that as a single mother? Someone who used to be homeless, which is in my book that I'm writing. Yeah, people don't know. They see the way that I present myself. They hear the way that I speak, and they think, oh, she hasn't had a problem in the world. You have no idea from where I came from. You have no idea the struggle that I come from, and so many others. My situation, it has some unique points, but it's not unique in a general sense. But people don't know that. How did I get here? I'm living proof. There is no difference. You can do the same thing, sis. You can do the same thing, brother. You can do the same thing. There is no difference. The only person that's hindering you is yourself. There is a way to get over every single hurdle, every single one. There is a solution for every single problem. There is. Let me see what you guys are saying. You are welcome. You are absolutely welcome. Entrepreneurship is the way I am going. I appreciate this. It has renewed my energy. That's what we're supposed to do for one another. And that makes me so happy that I was able to do that for you. So happy. 20 Africa, another option is day trading. I heard about that. I don't know anything about it, but I heard about that. I think the sister's name is Cinnamon. She says that she also does day trading. So Brother Tony is saying another option is day trading or Forex. Some generate about 50 to 200 a day with little risk. Did you hear him? He's giving solutions here. The brother is giving solutions. Okay. So go and check out day trading, educate yourself. Okay. And that is another option. Look, the options are coming now. Here's an option. Sherry, I looked into that as well. I'm still trying to learn that. Okay, very good. Tony Africa, there are easy apps that will basically trade for you and keep you from losing a lot. One could do it with as little as 1,000 USD. Wow. I will be checking that out as well. Like I said, I heard it from another content creator. I think, like I said, I think her name is Cinnamon. She's based in Portugal. And I believe I heard her mention that as well. Sherry, love this is absolutely E-Trade or Robinhood is what Brother Tony said. Sis says she has it. Tony Africa, also once you relocate, look into working with international non-profit organizations. That is another option. So look, out of this conversation, this is what community can do. This is what community looks like. This is why community is so important and vital. Because there are solutions in community. There is support in community. So day trading, okay, and working for international nonprofit organizations, which is a really good idea. A really good idea. And they have a lot of them on the continent. Okay. A lot of them. So yeah, again, this is what I'm giving you. This is what I have to give you. I hope that it helps you in your journey. Control your mind and mind your tongue. Control your mind your tongue. Control your mind your tongue. Remember, we are different personalities. There are 12 manner of men. That includes the wombed man. Okay? There are 12 manner. There are 12 personalities, and even within those 12 personalities, there are still unique differences because we all come in at a unique angle when we manifest in this physical world. So I say that to say that this is why certain things affect me when I'm in a particular land in a different way than it affects others. There are just certain things that are a light like me, a personality like me. There are certain things that I can't take. But there are certain things that other people, like those same things, those same experiences, they don't have that much of an impact on the next person because we all are different. We all are unique. So this is why, the mentality in, so to say, Tanzania, for me, it no longer worked for me. But others are loving it. Others are flourishing. And that's a wonderful, beautiful thing. And so I always tell you guys, have your own experience. It's important. Okay. And maybe, Sis Sherry, if I don't know, maybe you can somehow exchange information with Brother Tony so that he can help you. But I'm glad that connection was made. There are some solutions that were put out there today. I have sent out some light codes to you all. Hopefully, he or she that has an ear, that they will hear. I truly love you all. I want you all to know that you are a cosmic citizen, that you are free to go and be wherever you want to go, and that there is a place on this planet for you. And it's not just one, but there are multiple places for you. You do not have to live in fear. You do not have to live in poverty. You do not have to be oppressed. You do not have to be abused. You don't. You don't have to be depressed. I overcame that as well. You don't have to be depressed. I hope that you continue to do your work. And there are places and environments that that are nurturing, so that you can do, your work. I know in CR, I mean, this place is so lush and beautiful, and nature is so prominent, so do your work. Continue to do your work. It's very important that you heal yourself. It's very important that you know yourself. It's very important that you break, generational curses and trauma by just simply doing your work. Do your work. And know that you are the only hindrance, okay? That is what I have. Peace, love, and light to you all. If there are any more questions, okay? Peace, love, and light. All right.